most people have learned the concept of money or prosperity from a vibration that doesn't match it, because most people, when they talk about money, are coming at it from a shortage consciousness. Desiring something or wanting something, it has to be something that hasn't been fulfilled yet. So you're reaching for something that is new. And we want to say in a way that you can really hear it, that it's a steady attention to something that causes it to come and then keeps it coming. So there are only two reasons that something would come and then go. Either it came and you were satisfied, and so you were focused upon other things and took your attention from it, or you were focusing in opposition of it. And usually that's what happens with people, is that they think that the subject of money or the subject of prosperity is just one subject, when really it is two. Every subject is two subjects. It's like a stick that you pick up, and on one end of it is wanted, and on the other end of it is the absence of wanted. So sometimes people think that they're focused upon what they want, when actually they are focused upon its absence, or they're worried about its absence. And so they're creating a momentum of resistance that makes it hard to come, and it makes it hard to stay after it has come. So it's a really important distinction, and the only way you can know for sure which end of the stick you're focused upon is by the way you feel. And it is also worth saying that once you have identified that you're on the end of the stick that you want because it feels good, and you're able to maintain it without so much split energy, then you accomplish momentum. And once the momentum is strong enough, now you've got a really influential point of attraction going, where it just has to come to you. For it to be otherwise would be completely illogical. Sometimes people will say, well, there are lots of examples. A mother will say to her child, "Don't you know I love you?" And in that moment, there's no love. In that moment, there is maybe a desire for love, but there's no love right there. It's the other end of the stick going on. And so the child is confused, hearing the word love, but it's not being backed up with any emotion. And so they learn a word or a concept with a vibration that doesn't match it. And most people have learned the concept of money or prosperity from a vibration that doesn't match it. Because most people, when they talk about money, are coming at it from a shortage consciousness, wanting to overcome something. Well, you can't overcome what you're wanting to overcome. You're just adding momentum to it, and its influence is overcoming you. It naturally swings back, because when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And so it really is a matter of knowing where you want your focus to be, and then knowing what it feels like when your focus is really there in a solid way. So it is as simple as talking more about what you do want and less about what you don't want, and not panicking when you feel worry, but feeling knowledgeable. In other words, oh, this emotion means I'm doing that thing I do, where I'm actually confused about which end of the stick I'm focusing upon. When you're jealous of people who have money, you've got a habitual pattern upstream. When you're disappointed that you don't have money, you've got a habitual pattern upstream. When you're appreciative of the money you have, even if it isn't very much, you're flowing downstream. When you're appreciative of the money you have, when the money that you have feels good to you, and you say to yourself things like, "It's good that I have this money, and I'm proud of myself for having brought this money into my experience, and I'm a good budgeter of money, and I like how far I've made my money go, and I like the feeling of money, and I like putting the money here for this, and putting the money here for this, and putting the money here for this. I like this feeling of managing money, and I'm good at managing money, and I like this money, and I'm looking forward to more money that is coming. And as more money comes, I'm going to do this with it and this with it, and the money that comes is going to be fun in this way and this way and this way." Now, no matter what your state of money, there are people who have a lot more money than you do, who are worried about it and have pinched themselves off. There are people who have a lot less money than you do, who are thrilled with it, who have opened an avenue where there's abundance of money right on their doorstep. In other words, you just got to find a way to feel good about whatever the subject is, in this case, money. So when you change the way you feel about money, even though there isn't any money that gives you the reason to feel the change, in other words, you got to find the feeling before you get the money, and when you find the feeling, you've turned in the stream, and when you've turned in the stream, you'll find the money. It's just that simple. People say, give me the money, then I'll feel better. And we say, feel better, and then you'll get the money. You say, no, well, give me the money, and then I'll feel better. And we say, feel better, and then you'll find the money. Feel better. And they say, well, I don't have a reason to feel better. And we say, wanting to feel better is a reason to feel better. Wanting to feel better is a reason to feel better. You've got to train your mind to focus in a way that feels better, and only you can do it. Everybody, or most everybody, is saying, well, this is how I feel, and this is what is. And you, and when they mean you, they're talking to their mate, they're talking to their kids, they're talking to their employer, they're talking to their employees, they're talking to other people in traffic, and they're talking to the government, usually. That's who. And you need to do something different so that I can feel different. Employer, you need to give me more money, and you need to give me fewer hours. You need to give me more for less. That's what you need to do, and then I'll feel better. And kids, you need to get your own job. And government, you need to stop spending my money on things I don't want to spend it in, and give me my tax money back so that, and we say, as long as you're asking all of those people over which you have no control, and you know it, you know you can't control your kids, don't you? You know you can't control your government. You've tried. Don't you know it by now? So when you put yourself in a position where your good fortune is dependent upon what somebody does over which you have no control, you're upstream every time. And when you finally get it, that none of them have anything to do with what's coming to you. It's all just about you closing the gap. And closing the gap is about feeling better right now, better right now, better right now. Then you leave here and you say, nothing's more important than that I feel good, but I am where I am. And those two thoughts go very well together. I want to go downstream, but I am where I am, which means I've made peace with where I am. And when you make peace with where you are, can you feel this? Feel this. I don't have enough money, and I need more money, and I should have done better, and I should have applied myself better, and I shouldn't have spent money on that thing, and I shouldn't have taken that trip, and I shouldn't have spent this money, and now I'm in trouble. That's not making peace with where you are. That's clubbing yourself about the head. And it's upstream. Every bit it is upstream. Whether it's factual or truthful or not, whether you're overdrawn or not, it doesn't matter. It's upstream, and things can't get better. But when I am where I am, and my attitude is, I'm going to make peace with where I am. Now, what does that mean? What does making peace with where I am mean? It means turn and go with the flow. It means let myself have what I deserve. Making peace with it means I'm all right. It means I'm not stupid. It means I didn't make mistakes. It means I embraced life. I went for the gusto. I looked for what I wanted. I lived large. I am adventurous. I am full of life. I do love life. Things are supposed to be good for me. This is supposed to be a fun ride. I'm loving being here. I'm still in the same financial position that I was a few seconds ago, but now I've turned and I've gone with the flow. I made peace with where I am, and in doing so, I turned and went with the flow. By beating up on myself, I did the opposite. That it wasn't thinking about cancer that made you sick. It was worrying about this and 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 this in a stream that's moving really, really fast that made you sick. So it's not thinking about money that's going to bring you money. It's being nicer about this. It's being freer about this. It's smiling more about this. It's about loving this one more. It's about letting go of that grudge. It's about forgetting that embarrassing moment. It's about activating the things about you and about others that feel good when you do it. It's about giving yourself a break. It's about patting yourself on the back. It's about loving other people. It's about forgetting the slights that people have given you. It's about understanding them. It's about giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's about giving them a break. It's about not beating the drum of that. It's about not digging up the past and trying to use it to justify why things are screwed up now. It's about acknowledging that I am where I am, and where I am's okay. And everything that I am is as a result of everything that I've lived, and Source adores me right now, so why not me? Why not me adoring me too? Why not me loving me? Why not me loving me enough to let the abundance flow, the abundance of clarity, the abundance of vitality, the abundance of money, the abundance of friends? Why not me allow that in me? Source is doing it. Source is doing it. And source is just the greater part of me. Why not me? A man was talking to us one day in his 60s. He had just lost everything. And he was worried, to say the least. Pressed is a better description, and finding a hard time imagining getting it back, because in his description to us, he'd spent his whole lifetime getting there, and now it didn't feel to him like he could just start over again. And we said to him, but you're not understanding what your true power is, what your true leverage is, or what your true assets are. You're not understanding that with everything that you lived and everything that you asked for, that you've got a vibrational currency going on, and that this big contrast where you've lost it all has caused a big bounce of desire that is active and vibrationally wanting to influence you back into its fold. It's not about starting over, because you're not starting over vibrationally. And since vibration is the name of this game always, and since the vibration now is bigger and more robust, and you've got more non-physical energy in on it than you ever have before, your probability of financial success is greater now than it has ever been. But you've got to stop looking at where you are, which brings us to the most important part of this conversation that we're having all day here today, that we haven't said yet that we really want to say. And that is, you know what messes up what you call your future manifestations and what we call your current vibration and readiness to perform for you? You're focusing upon what you think is. Your attention to what is, as it consumes you and influences your vibration to be about what is, prevents you from allowing what really is to come out of the vortex and into your bank. And it's because you're all mixed up on what's real. You think that reality is this furthest most manifestation, and we say that's old news. That's not where you want to put your attention. That just doesn't matter. What is doesn't matter, but what's bounced out of what is, now this matters. This is where it all is. This is where the energy that creates worlds is focused. This is where your inner being is focused. This is where all the cooperative components have already been gathered. You just have to figure out how to be one of those cooperative components, which means you got to figure out how to stop worrying, which means you've got to stop letting what you think really is be less important to you by putting your attention somewhere else. And you want to think about this end, you're thinking about that end, then you need to pick up a different stick. Because that stick already has enough influence going on that it's more difficult for you to find your alignment. You don't have to focus on the precision or the specifics of these things in order to allow them to come about. You just can't focus in opposition. You could have 10 things that matter to you. 9 of them could be going terribly, and 1 of them could be going right. And if you would focus mostly upon that one that's going right, you would hold yourself in vibrational alignment with your vortex, and the other 9 would start performing well for you, because you've taken your attention away from the opposite end of the stick. So that's where meditation really comes in, because you've already asked and it's already been given. And if you can quiet your mind, then your vibration rises, and then you receive the good ideas and off you go. So it's about not trying so hard. It's about not trying to make it happen. It's about accepting that it is happening, and you just have to allow yourself to allow yourself to allow yourself to allow yourself. You have to get ready to be ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. It doesn't all have to happen this red hot minute any more than the corn needs to become another stalk of corn and an ear of corn right now. It's a process, and it's becoming, and you understand it, and you're good with that. And meanwhile, you're keeping yourself happy by focusing upon anything and everything that makes you feel pretty good. And if you can't find anything that feels good, then do anything you can that distracts you from it. We know there are things that feel better than others. Imagine the cork bobbing on the surface of the water. That's in the vortex. That's pure positive energy. Now you can hold it under the water artificially, unnaturally. That's what negative emotion is. But when you let go, it's going to bob back up. And so when you said, how do you get it flipped the other way? It is flipping. It wants to flip. Your inner being is influencing it to flip. It's already flipped. It's already flipped. The energy's already flipped. It's already flipped. It's already performing for you. So we're going to speak this in negative terms, but sometimes it's easier to hear it. If you stop doing that thing you do that isn't letting it happen, it'll happen. And how do you know when you're doing that thing that doesn't let it happen? You're worried.